All right, we're going to start the water park project today. This project is going to take us 2 weeks and a day to finish. It's going to be really important that you stay on top of your stuff and you meet every deadline. Okay, I have broken it up so that each task is due a different day. It is okay to work ahead if you are, ahead of schedule. That's fine. But do not get behind. Okay, I have made a timeline for you. This is posted on Canvas for you, and it shows you what is due which day. Okay, make sure that you have that task ready to turn in by the end of the period that day, or the end of the day that day. Okay, so for example, today I'll be doing the intro, getting you familiar with the project, and then by tomorrow, end of day, your first task will be due. You'll come to class Wednesday, you'll be working on the second and third task. By the end of the day, it'll be due. So make sure you're getting them turned in on time and staying on top of it. Don't fall behind because it'll snowball quickly, okay? Also, on April 5th, you'll be turning in your presentation. Well, your presentation will be due. So we will be watching the presentations that day. You will video yourself explaining your project. Don't freak out. It's just real quick and easy, and you're showing off your work, okay? So I really want y'all to have some fun with this. It's a fun project, and it gets a lot of just kind of basic math review, a little piece at a time. So for those of you that are like, oh my gosh, that was so easy, that means that you really did what you were supposed to do all year, and you've practiced this stuff, and you have it down, and you're ready. Those of you that struggle a little bit, that's okay. That means maybe you didn't get it as well as you should have on the first round, but you have time right now to pick it back up. So regardless of how you're feeling about it, push through, get help, get your project done, okay? All right, let's talk about what the project is. The project is that you have been hired to create blueprints for a water park, okay? You have been given this piece of paper. Everybody should have this piece of paper that I gave to you in your manila folders, okay? You will need this. This is where you'll be creating your blueprints, alrighty? Couple things. You need to fill up the whole paper. I don't want your water park to only be in one quadrant or to be just in the middle only. I want you to use the paper, spread it out, okay? And you can draw it originally all in pencil, and then you can go back later and add in colored pencils, okay? And then it will specifically, during the project, I will specifically ask you to do certain things in certain colors. Like you'll be drawing some red lines and some red dots to identify certain things, okay? So each task gives you something different to do for that day. It would be worth your time to kind of look ahead at the next task to know what's coming up, all right? So task 1 is going to be just designing your water park. You're going to have your big paper. You're going to be designing it. I'm going to give you a specific list of things that need to be in your water park, okay? Task 2 is just going to be naming your coordinates, and we'll talk more specifically about each task in a little bit. Task 3 is going to be finding the slope, so you're going to find slope between, your restrooms and your slide number 1 or something like that. Task 4, you'll be finding the midpoint of each of those lines. Task 5 will be finding the distance from one attraction to the next attraction. Then we'll be converting them to dimensions in task 6. Task 7, you'll be writing the linear equations of the lines that you found. Task 8, you'll be solving some systems, so we'll find the point of intersection of some of those lines. And task 9, you'll be kind of just organizing a reflection. So you'll just be reflecting on how the project went and each of the different parts and what you maybe liked and didn't like, okay? So, like I said, looking ahead might be helpful. Task 9 is going to ask you to kind of organize your thoughts and think about what was the main purpose of each task. You might want to do that as you go. Complete task 1, you might want to jump to task 9 and say, okay, here's what I think was the main purpose or the theme of that section. Whatever works for you, okay? All right, so for task 1, you have your big white paper, okay? I have folded it for you. The long way, the landscape way, is going to be your x-axis. The vertical is going to be your y-axis, okay? So I want you to take a black marker and I want you to draw in the axes, the x-axis and the y-axis. If you need to pause the video for a second in order to get that drawn, do that and then jump back on, okay? Okay, now that your axes are drawn, we're going to draw in like grid paper. We're going to make our paper look like graph paper. So you are going to mark 1-inch sections. We will count by ones on the 1 inches on the x-axis and the y-axis. So take your ruler, lay it out there, and then mark 1-inch sections. Okay? When you have completed that 100%, then you can go to the next video. Alrighty?